What do you expect? It's a Honda. Let's see if we can get it dialed in a little bit better. How's it going, kids? Today we're doing a little bit of work, or more a comparison, on our 1973 Honda CT90. Last couple of years, I've had an aftermarket carburetor on there because I lost the original one. Since then, I found a decent one on eBay that I think we can rebuild. So let's rebuild it, swap it out, and see what kind of difference it makes. It looks to be in good shape from the outside, but that could be deceiving. It's going to need to spend a little bit of time in the ultrasonic cleaner, and then some. So let's pull off the float bowl, break it down a little bit, evaluate it, and then maybe it needs to go swimming for a little while. Now, I believe on my rebuild kit I have a new float assembly, but we're going to go ahead and clean this one up just in case. See if I can do this without stabbing myself. Fairly certain we have a new gasket to go in here. Make sure you break this all the way down as far as it can go before it goes in the ultrasonic, so it has access to clean out each one of the passages. So make sure you get the valving out, as well as the gaskets and any O-rings that may be in there as well. All right, I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and drop it in and see what the first pass can do. All right, this is looking better, but we're not there yet. So let's go for round two. Getting closer, but I think it's going to take a third round because this thing really was bad on the inside. So now we've done 3 30-minute sessions inside the ultrasonic cleaner. Let's pull it out and see what we've got. Maybe the third time was a charm. It's amazing how many parts are still available for this. I mean, really, it's pretty impressive. And yes, they had a replacement pivot point for the float. And the float seat as well as the needle. And then we've got the rebuild kit to finish up all the other O-rings, etc. So there's a good chance this is going to work. Remove the rest of this silicone. Looks like somebody had on here trying to get it to seal up. Let's see what all we need to do here. I think that one's going to need a little bit more help. It loosened it up, but there's still a fair amount in there. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go a little bit further. Use a little carb dip on this because it ain't quite there yet. Get that seat out because we're going to be replacing it anyway. Probably should have done this first and then the ultrasonic. Let's spend some quality time in here. Check back with y'all in a few hours. All right, guys, it's been in there long enough. Let's draw it out. This is looking promising. Did I miss one? I damn sure did. Tell you what, we're going to put the bodies back in there. One more shot in the ultrasonic. I think we are good to go now. Isn't this exciting? Did a little bit more off camera. I knocked out the emulsion tube because it is not available anymore. I was able to clean out the passageways, really small on either side of it. So I think it's going to be okay. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this pop back together. I think this starts at a 1.25 out. Take it all the way in. 1.25. Well, we'll go 1.5. Just using a silicone spray to make life a little bit easier on the threads. All the way in, 1/2 turn out. All right, what else do we have here? This little guy. We actually have a replacement in the kit. It's too bad that all carburetors don't have that float seat as a replaceable item. I had to replace an entire carburetor on a Rancher because I could not keep it from leaking, and it was non-replaceable. I think that's it for the body. We can go ahead and do our float bowl. It's what I guess you would call a fuel filter on this side. Everything was so crunchy when we took it apart. Kind of hard to go back and see what goes where. Alright. What else do we have? This top cap is just about unusable. This piece of metal that comes to about right here with an adjuster on the end of it. But this is completely rusted away, and of course it's in LA. So we will hope that the one that's in there is probably the factory one, the OEM one. And pretty sure the carburetor was lost when we took it apart, but I think this part is still original to the bike, I hope. I find it kind of funny that both of these are just compression fits. They actually go across. So something about like that. So that's it for the kit. That took a little bit longer than I want to admit, but I think she's good to go now, all sealed up and ready to roll. But before we swap it out, let's drop this down, crank it up, and let you listen to it idle for just a few minutes. Because that's the biggest problem I've had with this aftermarket one, is it really doesn't idle that well, and it's a little bit sluggish on takeoff. So let's listen to it real quick, swap it out, and then listen to it again. See how she kind of hunts around. And you can adjust it and adjust it and adjust it, and unless you've got your hand on the throttle, she just wants to cut off. So let's put on that rebuilt one and see what we've got. Little insider trick for people with really old Hondas like this one. This plastic, of course, it gets brittle and it breaks. And this one's broken in probably 3 or 4 different places. But the trick is, come back in here with resin and fiberglass and just support it from the backside. So, makes all the difference. Hopefully, this one will fit in our new carburetor, because the one that came with it is a little bit boogered up on the slide. We will see. And while I'm thinking about it, I think the run and reserve are reversed on this one. We'll see if we can't. Doing the right way this time, maybe. I make no promises though. That slide certainly goes into this one better than it did on the other. I mean, there's a chance that this was the OEM one to begin with, because I don't think it ever came off the machine. It was just the carburetor. So that's probably the OEM one. Supposedly we are off in that position. Now, before we go any further, let's go ahead and put a little bit of fuel in there. Make sure she's not gonna free flow on us, and then go from there. Once again, I did it backwards. It's just raw talent, you know? All right, I think it's safe for us to go ahead and put our intake boots back on, and we will see what she does. This may take a minute, because I've got to dial it in. I mean, I've got it set to where I think it needs to be, but air fuel and the idle may be way, way off. So let's bring her down, see if it fires off, and then adjust it. What do you expect? It's a Honda. Let's see if we can get it dialed in a little bit better. Honestly, That is really close. Get that fan turned off. Well, there you go, guys. You heard this thing. I've just barely started to adjust it, into spec, but I can go ahead and tell you it's worlds better than it was with that aftermarket one. So, was the other carburetor usable? Yes, but if you can rebuild your factory one, do it, even if it takes you 2 or 3 tries to get it right. Well, all I've got is a couple of panels to put back on this one, then I can roll her back over in the corner where she will wait until she heads out to her next track day. Well, we will see you in the next video.